All right, so thank you everyone again for being here today. We are very excited to have EXIT Realty's #1 agent in the Midwest, having already produced nearly 25 million in volume this year, several hundred reviews on Zillow, just an absolutely amazing agent right here at EXIT Strategy Realty. Danny Lewis is going to be our guest today. I cannot say enough about Danny. Danny's somebody that didn't have a family member in the industry, didn't come from, a business background that was going to automatically mean he walked into connections. Danny has truly built his business from the ground up. He is a self-starter, self-motivated individual. And again, I cannot say enough about what Danny has done in his business and what he's done to help us here at EXIT Realty. And I think it says a lot that Danny's taking time out of his day right here on a very busy holiday, right before the holiday weekend actually, to share with you. What we're going to be talking about today is Zillow recommendations and how vital they are to your business, whether you are paying for leads, not paying for leads. We now know that Zillow basically acts as a Google search for buyers and sellers looking to find out who you are, whether you're good, and also, more importantly, whether or not you are going to be selected when they're looking at your listings. When they are looking at your listings now, as of December 31st this year, some of those contracts that you saw with certain brokerages that only featured the listing agent, those contracts all expire at the end of the year. So even if your recruiters from some companies are telling you otherwise, that is, those are all going away because, quite frankly, Zillow wants all of our money, and they've earned it with the traffic that they get. So what the issue is for us as listing agents is when you have a listing and you've got somebody with a ton of reviews and they're in the little box with 3 people plus you as the listing agent and you have no reviews, who do you think they're going to pick? They're going to pick the person with the most reviews in order to make their decision and start having a dialogue on that listing. That means you as the listing agent lose out. And I have to say, after all the education that we're doing right now, I really feel like you have got to start listening to what we're telling you, because this is the kind of stuff that's going to either make you money and help you get business or lose money. And so we have the opportunity to listen to Danny. Before we do, I have one other thing, a general announcement. If you are at EXIT Strategy, please get in our 90-day challenge. There's no sign up. There's no cost. You just literally start filling out your greatness trackers January 1st. There's a YouTube video up. Please go look at my YouTube channel or any postings from the office. We're referencing this 90-day challenge. If you want your 3rd deal of the year at 90% commission, you will get in this 90-day challenge. And trust me, all it is helping you get better in communication with your database, following up more closely with leads, doing some personal notes. This is not rocket science. We're not asking you to buy and put up billboards. All we're asking you to do is work your database and the leads you're getting in the door. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. So please get in touch with me if you've got any questions about that or any questions about EXIT in general. If you're if you're not here or you're a little confused why you're here, let us help you. There's so many tools we've got coming that are already here, and so many people like Marky Lemons that are now on board with this company that want to help you. And again, one of those people is Danny Lewis. So without further ado, I want to pass the baton, so to speak, to Danny, and he's going to give you a really wonderful presentation here. This will be recorded, so if you miss a point or if you want to ask a question about a point, we will have this recorded. Thank you so much, Danny.
All right. Hello, exits and other agents out there. This is Danny Lewis. First, I want to thank Nick so much for the opportunity to share this with you guys. I think Nick really hit it. When you're going up against all other agents, especially in this city, and, I'd actually say just, think of it your own personal experience. When you look at Yelp, when you look at, all these other websites where you're picking a restaurant per se, or you're picking a hotel on TripAdvisor or something like that. If you see 3 hotels and one hotel has 140 5-star reviews, another hotel has maybe 20 5-star reviews, another hotel has no reviews, who are you going to pick? Restaurant-wise, who are you going to pick? You don't want food poisoning, so you're most likely going to be picking the one that has the highest amount of reviews and the most stars as well. And it's the same exact thing in real estate. It translates almost perfectly into real estate as well. If you're going to be making one of the most important decisions in your life, which is picking a house, who are you going to pick? Who are you going to choose? Are you going to pick the most experienced person with the most reviews? Are you going to pick the person who's got maybe like 20 or 30 4 or 5-star reviews? Or are you going to pick someone with no reviews? The answer to that question, as I'm sure you know, is you're going to pick the person with the most highest reviews. And that's today what I'm here to talk to you about. I'm here to talk to you about how to get your reviews up to where they should be and how to get those reviews in the first place, okay? So without further ado, let's get this moving. Again, my name is Danny Lewis. I have the Lewis Real Estate Group here at EXIT Strategy Realty. Team is about 14 agents. We meet every 2 weeks or so, talk about all the different types of deals that we got going, the different types of questions we have in the real estate industry. I always call it like AA for agents, like Alcoholics Anonymous for agents. We basically sit around and we talk about our problems. We talk about how to solve them. And if you are new in real estate, or if you've been in real estate for a while, you know that the number one factor in real estate is that you need help. You need a team. You need people around you who can guide you in the right direction. You try to do real estate on your own, and it's almost impossible. I did get started on my own in the sense that I didn't really have any connections. I didn't have family members in the business, but I did have a mentor, and that mentor basically brought me on his team and taught me everything that he knew without asking anything further. And I try to pass that on myself. I try to also do the same. So, if you want more information about the group, feel free to contact me on this chat after the meeting, or email me at lewischicagorealestate@gmail.com. My email will be up at the end of this presentation as well, so you can feel free to reach out to me there too. Well, let's get this moving. All right. So, let's start the process. Okay. So this is who I am. I'm the number 3 agent in terms of reviews in all of Chicago. Okay. I think right now I have over 275 reviews total. And this is how they look when you look online. There's 2 other agents above me. They've been doing this for a lot longer than I have. But that being said, they also did the same thing. They also have a system in order to get reviews and in order to get people to boost them up, to get as many possible reviews as they can. And they all have their own systems, but today I'm going to share mine and how I got to where I'm at. So there's a couple of assumptions I'm going to be making when we're doing this presentation. Number 1, I'm assuming you've already created a profile on Zillow and added personal and professional content. That's a necessity, obviously. There's no way anyone can review you if you don't have a profile. So if you haven't already, get started on that. Look at other people's profiles. That's what I did when I started in Zillow. See what they wrote about themselves, add content, add pictures, add as much as you possibly can so people can have as much information about you on your profile as possible. I'm also assuming you've added your past sales to the site, and this is very important. It should be done after every single closing, okay? Every time you make a sale, you should be immediately logging on Zillow and adding that sale to your profile to make sure that you can have a very strong profile. And the last thing I'm assuming is that you have happy clients. If you have a deal that went sideways, but it did close, or even if it didn't close, I would, highly recommend taking the temperature of the client and making sure they're happy with how everything went. You do not want to reach out to clients that were not happy, because if they do, you will most likely not get good reviews. So again, I would always make sure to reach out to clients that are happy and make sure that they had a good experience. And if you're not really sure about how they'll review you, I'm going to teach you some steps on what to take in terms of making sure they give you the best review possible. So from whom do you get reviews? There's 2 people that you get reviews from. Number 1 is clients you close transactions with. That's kind of a general given. You know that if you close a transaction with a client, that you should be able to get a review from them. But a lot of people don't realize that you should also get reviews from clients you haven't closed transactions with. How many of you have had deals where the buyers decided to rent at the last minute, or they decided to not buy, or they decided that they're not going to move? It happens. It happens to everybody. First of all, you're not alone. This happened to me a lot. The second thing I want to make sure you understand is that you have to make sure that time that you spent with those clients, even if they didn't close with you, even if they didn't close in general, you have to make sure that time was worth it. And Zillow does not require you to get reviews from people who you've closed with. You just have reviews from people you've worked with. So again, if you worked with someone and they didn't close, you have to make sure you get on top of getting a review from them. That is extremely important. That's going to boost the number of reviews you have, and it's not breaking any rules. They're people that you have worked with. You just didn't close with them. So again, the 2 people you want to get reviews from are clients you closed with and clients you haven't closed with. All right, so there's closing day. Congratulations to our clients. You do your usual routine, which is doing a final walkthrough before the closing or whenever before the closing. And then you want to prepare for closing day. You want to get your clients gifts. I always get my clients a bottle of Dom, personally. You also want to prepare in terms of making sure they understand what to expect at the closing table. I always say it's very anticlimactic. There's no ribbons dropping at the end of the closing after you sign off the contract. It's just basically sitting around doing small talk with lawyers and waiting to actually get the closing done. So I get my clients a gift. We talk at closing. We make sure it's a pleasant experience. Another very important thing is after the closing is done is you take a picture with them at the end of closing, okay? So you take your gift, you stand next to them, you take a picture. You make sure this experience was memorable for them. And the way you do that is by taking a picture with them. I usually do 2 pictures. I do a picture with just them on their own so they can have their own memories. And then I throw myself into one of the pictures as well to make sure that it's memorable in the sense that I was there as well. And then at the end of closing, after everything's all done, you don't shake hands and say goodbye, best of luck. You walk them out. You walk them out of the building until the very end. What I always say when I'm in my deals is I'm with my clients from that first phone call that I make in terms of setting them up with a search or talking about what they're looking for to the absolute end, which is walking them out of the building, congratulating them, and thanking them for trusting me with their buying experience. So as I'm walking out of the closing, I always say this. This has been a truly amazing experience, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate your trust in me and my team in getting this done for you. Here's another very important line. I'm going to be sending you a request from Zillow. If you could please write me a review, I would greatly appreciate it. So I say that in person to their face, and 10 out of 10 times, I can't even say 9 out of 10 times, 10 out of 10 times, everyone always says, oh, absolutely, of course. They're not going to say no to your face in terms of writing you a review. That's extremely important. So again, you're in their face, not literally, but you're in front of their face, and you're getting some type of confirmation that they are going to write a review for you. The other most important thing, too, I want to mention as well is this isn't just for buyers. If we're talking about listings as well and sellers, we need to make sure that we get in touch with the sellers the day of closing as well. We inform them that, hey, closing's happening right now, if they're not going to make the closing themselves, and just say, hey, I'll be planning on reaching out to you after the closing to make sure that everything went smoothly, that everything is done, and that the funds will be transferred into your account. So it's not just buyers that you do this for, it's also sellers as well. So in terms of the buyers, I do get in front of them, and I mentioned the fact that I'll be sending them a review later today, and that I'd be very appreciative if they gave me a review. So after the closing, after I drop off my check, which is my first favorite thing to do, I go directly to my computer and write a follow-up email. And I can't tell you how imperative and how important it is to do this immediately after closing. If you wait like a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something like that, the initial rush of closing dies down. And they don't remember exactly how much you help them. And they don't remember exactly how hard you work for them. If it takes a while, maybe something goes wrong during the move, or maybe they've been in the place for a week or so and find some problem that we didn't realize happened during inspection, or they aren't happy initially with something during the moving process, because as moving is very stressful. So I can't stress how important it is to get this review immediately after the closing. You send that email, the follow-up email, which I'm about to talk to you about in a minute, right after you close. That way the closing is still fresh in their mind and all your hard work is remembered. You don't want to wait till the rush of closing dies off, because like I said, many things could happen in that time frame. You want to make sure you hit them up immediately after the closing. So what I do is I send a thank you recommendation request email. This email has many different factors to it. I'm going to go over it in detail in terms of what I write and how I write and what the importance is about it. But this is what the general email looks like. It's pretty much almost a copy and paste email, except for many different parts of the email. The beginning and the end are usually customized, but everything else in the middle is usually pretty standard. So that's what the email looks like. So here's the breakdown of my email, and here's why I say what I say. So hey, buyers or sellers, we've closed. Congrats on the purchase, and again, it was a pleasure working with you both, or just you, depending on if it was one person or not. You want to make sure you customize that. Don't want to copy and paste the both email to someone who's just working by themselves. You were so kind and patient throughout the process, and I'm so happy everything turned out well. I always write something personal there, like, if there was a funny experience during the showing process, or if you're representing the listing, if there was a buyer that kind of, was crazy or something like that, or if there was a funny question that they asked, or if there's something memorable about the experience, I write something personal in there to kind of give some kind of personal touch to that email as well. So I want to see if I could ask, you to take a couple of minutes of your time to recommend me on some real estate websites. Recommendations are the lifeblood of realtors, and we work hard to get them. It'll be easy. You can just copy and paste whatever you write into each site, and I'll be sending you links to this site shortly. Here's a link for my Yelp page. So again, I'm not counting on them to, after this email, go to my website and, or go to Zillow site, I should say, and write a review. So after this email is sent, I immediately go to the Zillow site, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I send them the review request. I don't count on them to do it themselves. In terms of Yelp, I don't think, and maybe I'm wrong, there is a way to request a review on Yelp. I think Yelp, the only thing you can do is direct them to your page. I could be wrong about that, but you know, like I said, in Zillow, you could definitely email these people immediately and say, hey, can I get a review on Zillow? On Yelp, I'm not 100% sure, so I usually put them a link to get to the Yelp page. So I say it'll be greatly appreciated if you gave us 5 stars in all categories on Zillow. If you decide not to, I'd appreciate it if you let me know in advance so I could plead my case. So important, guys. You need to be blunt. You need to get in their face, not literally, but via email, and you need to ask them for the 5 stars. You can't count on people giving you 5 stars in every category. Sometimes people think they're doing you a favor by giving you 4 stars in one category, so it looks more quote-unquote realistic. I don't want that. I want 5 stars in every single category because you're a 5-star agent. You know, if you did the service that you did, which is helping them buy a place or even not helping them buy a place, no matter what, in my opinion, if you spent your time on these clients, you deserve to get 5 stars in every single category, not just 1, not just 3, not 4, all of them. So be blunt. Tell them, you know, you want 5 stars. And if in advance they don't think you should get 5 stars, then it says here directly, let me know. So it's a warning. If I had a client who said to me, you know what, it was a great experience, but I'm going to be giving you 3 stars in, you know, communication or 3 stars in, you know, contract negotiation, I would just be blunt. I would say, listen, you know, I really appreciate that. I appreciate you letting me know. That being said, you know, in this scenario, and then you talk about the scenario, like maybe it was a multiple offer scenario that you won, or you remind them of that. Or you talk about how, you know, the seller really wasn't negotiating at all, so you did your best to get the best deal possible. I would push and argue for a case for 5 stars. Now, if they decide not to give you 5 stars, again, honestly, in my opinion, I have enough reviews where I would just say, you know what, don't worry about it. And I probably wouldn't even send them the review request. If you're newer, if you really don't have many reviews and you just kind of want to get started, then yeah, then I would send it out either way. But if you have a bunch of reviews and you don't want to knock your review total down to like 4 stars or 3 stars or whatever it is, I would probably skip it, to be honest. At this point, I would. But if you're new, I would say, yeah, it's probably better to have one than none. So again, be blunt. Ask for 5 stars. And if they say they don't want to give you 5 stars, fight for it and tell them why you deserve it. Don't hesitate to contact me if you need anything. This is, again, in the email. Don't hesitate to contact me if you need anything at all. And if you ever hear of anyone thinking of buying or selling, please send them my way. I'll be sure to take great care of them. So again, you're throwing in that standard referral statement that all those agents and all those speakers love. You're basically asking them for business. You're saying, hey, you know, it was a great experience working with me. Just because it was great with me doesn't mean it wouldn't be great with your friends and family as well. So feel free to send them my way. I'll take great care of them. So congrats again on the purchase, and I look forward to helping you in the future. Keep me posted on the housewarming party. Can't wait to see the finished product. I always put something personal in here. I talk about, you know, if they're going to redo the kitchen, you talk about that. Can't wait to see the new kitchen once you're done with it. You talk about something else that happened in the process, or, you know, you bring up the fact that, you had a inside joke about something, or I don't know, something personal here. You want to make sure this doesn't seem like a copy and paste email. Now, the middle of it is, but the beginning and the end should be customized, and that's something that's very important. So think about the process you have with these people. Think about something funny that happened. Think about something that was memorable. Think about something you want to do in the future with them. For example, if they're fixing up a place, or if they're moving, if they're sellers and they're moving to another state, talk about how, when you go to Florida, you'll definitely hit them up or something like that. You want to put something personal there to make sure it doesn't seem like a copy and paste email. So thank you and talk soon. P.S. I attached some great pics from the closing. Also, I hope you enjoy the champagne and put the Home Depot gift card to good use. So in the email, you're going to attach the personal picture that you took with them at closing to make sure they remember how memorable it is. Also attach the picture of just them as well, so they can also have something to keep for themselves. And then remind them of the gifts that you gave. So again, I give Home Depot gift card and champagne. Doesn't mean you have to also. You could also do something customized. There's many different closing gift companies too that give really cool gifts. Remind them the gifts you gave them, just so that it's kind of a way to end there, in the sense that You're wishing them best of luck and remind them of all the hard work you put in and all the gifts and presents you gave them as well to make this a pleasant process. So the next step after that is after you send that email, spell check and make sure everything looks good, is you go to your Zillow page. And on your Zillow page, if you look at the profile, there's many different things in there, but the one you want is the request review button, okay? So at that point, you're going to request the reviews. Wow, I've got a lot more reviews since the last time I did this. So you're going to request review. You're going to write in the client's email. So here it's buyer@gmail.com, and you're going to send it out. You're going to also make sure to attach their wife, their husband, it doesn't matter who. If there's more than one person in this group, send out both reviews. Sometimes Zillow will only take one of them, which is understandable. But sometimes, maybe the husband doesn't do it and the wife does, or maybe the wife does it and the husband doesn't do it. It's different every time. So if you have more than one client in the deal, send it out to all of those clients to make sure that the highest probability of getting as many reviews as possible. So you're going to send it out immediately and attach their email and send it. You're going to follow up eventually. So say it's like a week or so and you still haven't received a review. In about a week, you're going to reach out to that email and you're going to shoot them an email saying, reminding them, a gentle reminder. They sometimes have so much going on they forget. I mean, it's understandable. They're moving or they're in the process of moving, or they are going through a big life movement at the time. It makes sense if it's not the first thing on their mind to write a review immediately. So in that email, make sure you have a friendly tone, not stern. You don't want to be a jerk about it, and you want to ask how the move is going. And then at the end of the email, you want to casually, very gently, throw in a reminder about the review you sent. Maybe resend it again. If you saw on that last page, if I can go back, let's see. Yeah, on the right here, where it says no review submitted, you see how it says send again? So it's that easy. If you, a week later, don't have a review from these people, you can just go to the Zillow page, click send again, and it will send it to them immediately. So again, very important. Make sure the email is a friendly tone. At the end of that email, casually throw in a reminder about the review you sent and resend it over to them again. So here's my main points, and then this is just the quick summary. I want you to be prepared for the closing. From day one, you got to be ready in terms of the walkthrough. You got to be ready in terms of the gift. You got to be ready in terms of what to expect at closing and making sure they have the correct expectations. You're going to make sure to be with your clients until the absolute very end. When you walk out with them, you need to make sure that you are the last person they see before going on their own and getting a cab or doing whatever they do, getting in their car to go back to their new home. You want to ask them in person to write a review to their face. Like I said, 10 out of 10 times when I do that, they say okay. I've never heard someone to my face say no. Maybe they don't eventually after sending them a link, but whenever you ask them personally to their face, they will always say yes. Then you're going to send them the thank you recommendation email and the pick from closing immediately after the closing. You're not going to wait a day. You're not going to wait, 5 hours. You're going to wait maybe 10 minutes. As soon as you get to a computer, you're going to send it. And in that email, you're going to ask for 5 stars. So important. You need to be able to, be blunt. Tell them that you deserve it. And again, if they don't want to give you 5 stars, plead your case. Fight for it. Tell them why you deserve 5 stars. I've had clients before who, originally said, 4 stars, and I just talked to them about it and explained to them how important it is to get 5 stars, and they turned around and gave it to me. You can't count on them to do it on their own. You need to send them the link as soon as you get back to your office, okay? You can't just say, hey, write me a review, best of luck. You're going to have to go to your Zillow profile and you're going to have to request a review to them. You're going to go to Zillow and you're going to request a review, and you're going to follow up a week later if you still haven't received a review. That's very important. You need to fight for every single review you get. Everyone is important. Like I said from the beginning, if you're going up against someone who's got 3 times as many reviews as you do, it's going to be tough to get that business. So every single review is important, no matter who they are. The people you have closed with or the people you haven't closed with. You need to make sure you fight for that review. And that's it. I mean, congratulations. You're a 5-star agent. You deserve it. And if you're an exit agent and you've been trained by, the exit trainers and the teachers here in terms of Nick and Marky Lemons, all those people, you should be a 5-star agent. There's no doubt. And if you're not, if you need help with that, feel free to contact me as well, or Nick, or anyone. And you can reach me at lewischicagorealestate@gmail.com. My email is right there on the screen. I can tell you, what I've done to get myself in terms of the amount of reviews I've gotten, But at the same time, I want to make sure that you have questions about how to get to that 5-star status, how to make sure that your clients are happy. And if you're not confident about that, there's so many tools here at EXIT and ways to get you to that position. So again, thank you for your time today. Feel free to reach out to me or feel free to chat if you have any extra questions. And look forward to seeing all you guys on Zillow with your 5-star reviews. Take care. Have a great day.
Awesome, Danny. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for being on this today. We look forward to seeing you at our next events. If you've got any questions, let us know. Have a wonderful holiday if we don't see you before then.